Guess who's back?
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to get into our Week 5 preview for the Dallas Cowboys, Cowboys versus Giants, as well as a recap of Week 4. Before we get started, if you like Dallas Cowboys content, if you like NFL content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like. That is what we produce here. So let's get right into it. As always, we start with a little recap of Week 4. The Cowboys were defeated by the Browns 49-37. 38. It was a blowout. The nightmare scenario that we projected, it was even more nightmarish than that. They turned the ball over early, which has been one of the consistent things that has been happening in these first 4 weeks. And like we said in the last video, we didn't really know what to expect from the rush defense. Well, there is no rush defense. At one point, they were giving up 9 yards per carry. Whenever an offense is able to do that, there's nothing you can really do offensively to try and, stop the bleeding. This game was over quick once the turnover started happening, and the Browns realized, well, we don't really have to do much offensively other than just keep on pounding the rock. And that's what they did. And, of course, they had some big misdirection type plays, some trick plays in there that completely exposed our defense again. Our safety play got exposed early, just like in the Seattle game. But again, the offense could not overcome what the defense was doing. That's 39 points, 38 points, and 49 points consecutively from this defense. I think it's pretty fair to say that this is the worst defense in the NFL. What are they going to do to change that? I don't really know. We'll get into that. But there's a lot more questions right now than there are answers right now.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because we're not asking you to be some great godly defense or anything like that. We're literally just asked, like, when you go and look at the other side of the ball and your guys that are playing on offense, what if we just told you, hey man, guys, all you have to do is just be average. Just do your job, and that's it. And as far as from past years, I'm not going on the coaches or coaching staff or anything. This is simply a players and just not playing up to the level that we've expected them to play. It's not. I don't see anything as far as the schematic issue goes. Maybe they can find a compromise and talk to each other. But as far as it's just effort and everything, and some players like Jalen and Poe hasn't lived up to the signing. Griffin absolutely has absolutely done nothing. Darien Thompson, heading into the week, we said that he probably doesn't need to be playing. They pulled him immediately after that first touchdown, and Donovan Wilson, the rookie's out there. So there's some other guys that are behind them, like Bradley and Reggie Robinson and stuff, where what harm could it do you rolling those guys out there if other guys aren't willing just to play at an average level and do their job? And that's basically what happened, is that this defense isn't playing not even at an average level. Guys they're not playing up to an NFL caliber standard.
Well, you saw it was immediately from the first play. Chubb broke off, what was it, like a 15-yard run?
Yeah.
They just got blown off the ball. RJ mentioned a lot of names. Another guy that it's almost blasphemous to say his name, but other people have been saying at this point, there's a breaking point. Yeah. Marcus Lawrence has got to show up. You don't get paid that much to be a solid run stuffer. You get paid that much to rush the quarterback. And I understand he's dealing with an injury, but if he's on the field, he would tell you that he's good enough to be on the field and he can perform at a level enough to go out there and win some one-on-one battles to try and get sacks. Aaron Donald, that guy is the best defensive player in the NFL. I don't want to compare them directly, but he gets triple teams on playing, and he still gets pressure, and he still gets sacks. So the expectations are going to be higher for guys that get paid. That just comes with the territory. The defense is terrible. It's the worst. Offense has got some blame to go their way. Another high-paid guy, Ezekiel Elliott. We can all I think the writing's on the wall, or not on the wall. It's confirmed. The guy's not going to be as efficient a runner as he was his rookie year ever, probably again. He's not going to be the guy that breaks off 20-plus yard runs for you. And like we saw yesterday, when he does he's having issues holding on to the ball, and he said it as much himself in the post game that we're having a really tough time holding on to the ball, and that's starting with me or turning the ball over. So the special teams, special teams look like shit again. I mean, there were some questionable decisions special teams wise, and then Pollard muffed another one. All three phases kind of have. But I mean, obviously the defense is the worst, but all three phases kind of have issues right now.
Yeah, and you can't say that. I would say that none of them aren't fixable, but it's just a matter of the players. Like, you as the players, you got to give the coaches something to work with, and they're not giving them anything to work with right now.
Defensively, look, I want to be optimistic, but unless players start getting healthy fast, I don't think that the backups are going to make that much of a difference. They may, effort-wise, yes. Is that the only thing that they need? No, they need talent.
Yeah.
Leighton Vander Esch is not going to be back for at least 4+ more weeks. Sean Lee, same thing.
I think hopefully Cheeto and Brown.
Cheeto and Brown, I don't know when they're going to come back. I would say probably another 1 or 2 more weeks. So right now, the injuries are decimating your defense, and the players that are out there really aren't helping themselves. The ones that are healthy are not helping themselves. Baker Mayfield only had to pass for 165 yards yesterday. I mean, that's exactly the situation that you want him to be in. Whenever he did have to make a throw late to kind of close the game, he overthrew Odell Beckham along the sideline. If you put him in that situation multiple times in the game, he wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
But they got to do whatever they wanted in the run game, and just completely embarrassed the Cowboys. So, looking ahead to Week 4. How do you get over an embarrassment? I don't know if the Cowboys defense can stop anybody. Look, the Giants are one of the worst offenses in the NFL right now. But they have enough talent on there. Just like every NFL team is an NFL team, they have elite caliber talent.
Yes.
Daniel Jones has some wheels on him. He has an arm. He makes stupid decisions. Yes. But they still have Evan Ingram. They still have Golden Tate. Darius Slayton is a big play threat. So if your safety's not ready, he's going to go over the top and destroy you. So they have pieces to go out there and make it a tough time for you. Should the Cowboys win this game? Yes, they should. They absolutely should. But I don't know what the
if there was ever a game that you needed to feel better about yourselves and have a confidence builder to maybe get things going, this would be the game. But am I confident in that happening? Absolutely not.
No, I mean, I could see a scenario where it's close.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, exactly.
Where it's very close late, and the Giants just so happen to have the ball last, and because our defense is so terrible, they're able to drive down the field and score or kick a field goal late, because that's exactly what Jason Garrett would love to do. But I think they're averaging about 11.7 points a game right now. Our defense is giving up 39 point something points a game right now. So it's going to be the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, the worst versus the worst. Man, I don't know. And then this Cowboys against the Browns, they did receive the kick, but the offense couldn't put points up on their first drive, which would have been perfect. They did stop the Browns on their first drive and were able to get back, but then I don't know, man. It was just a cascading effect. And
is it time to succumb, just to go ahead and come out the gates playing like you're down?
Well, I mean, we said that last week. They should treat. I mean, I don't.
But the thing is, they didn't still.
I mean, I will say, if you look at the run rates and all that, they aren't running Zeke as much. I mean, you could say because they're down.
But I saw in the first quarter, or the first half, they were kind of running and passing the same. It wasn't until they got down that
they started opening.
Yeah, that they started opening up the passing game more.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's going to be one of the two. I understand you want to get Zeke the ball because you paid him that money. I mean, that's really all that it comes down to. The reason you're creating him the ball is because you paid him that money. You're trying to justify the investment because you can't really justify the others right now.
Guys, the running back success is totally based off of the guys in front of him. Connor's not playing good. Looney has been a liability, and the right tackle in the run game, albeit he played good against Garrett once he got put in there. Knight hasn't played that well. Zeke does a lot of great things other than running the ball, which he doesn't. How do I say this? Running the ball for him isn't as efficient as he was in 2016, like we were saying earlier. He will never be that good. There's other things about him that make him a great football player, as far as pass protecting, how smart he is in that type of game and stuff like that. But there's a reason why it's the most turnover position in the NFL, like as far as being able replaceable and easily, stuff like that. Getting the ball to Zeke 20 times a game isn't going to win the game. Running the ball is totally based off of how the flow of the game and if you're able to get ahead or not, and then hold a lead. People saying that if Zeke would run the ball 20 times or 25 times a game, that they'd win the game, that is absolutely blasphemous, and as Stephen A would say, that's stupid, and it's absolutely ridiculous that there's people that get paid a good amount that are saying this to you on TV.
I think the unfortunate thing is that, and RJ said it in another way, but the blunt way to say it is that right now Zeke's best ability is pass blocking.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Unfortunately, you're paying a guy $15 million, and his best asset to this offense right now is his pass blocking
and helping out the weaker tackle side.
Because if you look at the efficiency that they're having in the pass game versus the run game, there's no freaking comparison. Just going back to against the Seahawks, Dax drove the team down in 3 plays and scored a touchdown and got them back into that game. And you saw in this game, his arm is what got you back into. Look, and I said the same thing about Tony Romo. The same thing about Tony Romo. Whenever you pass the ball more often, the more likely there are bad things to happen. That's just what it is. Yeah. There's a lot more things that can happen on a pass play than there are on a run play because there are a lot more moving parts.
But it's also more efficient to get down the field and score than what it is to hand the ball off.
A 15-yard completion is a lot more likely than a 15-yard run. It just is.
You got to have a lot of things go right on a run as far as up front for you to get something good. It's not based off the running back.
And just overall, we were talking about the 2014 Cowboys, that this is what the team would have to be modeled on. Not a very good defense, but offensively, you're just going to go out there and dominate in every way possible. But this isn't the 2014 Cowboys. This is like the 2013 or 2012 Cowboys, where you're going to have historically one of the worst defenses on the field. Are you going to be able to overcome that every week? Something's going to have to improve. The offense is at its close to its damn peak. So you're going to have to start getting some better special teams play, or you're going to have to start getting some better defensive play. Which is more likely? I don't know. And then in coaching situations, you're going to have to be perfect, which not every coach is. But like RJ said, this is year 1 of Mike McCarthy. I'm not going to look at the coaches yet. And again, the holdover here on this team are the players. The investments have been made on this team. Some of them are definite mistakes and things that you probably didn't like before that are popping up now, but the common denominator is and will always be, probably until we die or even further, is that the Jones family are going to be the people pulling the triggers and making the decisions. So we're going to live and die by that personnel-wise. You're going to have to make the most of what you have on the field. And right now what we have is a $12 million linebacker who can't find a hole. We have a defensive end who can't get a sack. And we have a running back who can pass block. Is his best ability. So those are our 3 marquee players right now, and you're gonna have to figure out how to win games with that. And then on top of that, one of the worst defenses in the NFL. So looking at the Giants, they're gonna want to control the clock. They're not going to be a high explosive goal scorer, so many points. I don't think the Browns wanted to do that either, but they just happened upon the fact that they could gash the Cowboys immediately from the get. I think if the Cowboys can score 30, which seems like nothing to them right now, then they should be able to win this game. But defensively, we'll see what happens. I don't know. If I were to pick this game, honestly, I'd probably pick the Giants. I have no faith in the defense right now. I have faith in the offense. I have no faith in the defense, though. And if there's any game, everybody wants to get out of a rut, right? David Hellman, he tweeted today, well, all the teams that we're going to be playing in the next 7 games are combined for a total win-loss, I believe, of 4-11, something like that. But every other team is looking at the Cowboys the same way. Oh, this is a team that we could get over. The Giants,
They're the team where we can get our offense going.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't won a game yet. They're going to be looking at the Cowboys defense, one of the worst, and say, hey, this is a game that we could get on track. And every team's going to be like that for the next going on because, face it, this is a 1-3 football team right now. Yes, in a crappy division, they're no longer the leaders. We could say that possibly they're the best team in the division, but I don't know about that. The Eagles definitely have a better defense than us. They definitely don't have a better offense, but, maybe they're in the middle. We're going to find out here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because the schedule, it does lighten up a little bit before the bye, but post the bye, man, it kind of turns into a murderer's row if you ask me, and I kind of thought that before the season, but Mike McCarthy's going to have some things to figure out. I do they put bad players on the field in certain spots. But if this was the Jason Garrett regime, they would have been on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
Terrence Steele would have been out there the whole game like Chaz Green was. Darien Thompson would still be out there. So at least they're willing and able to make quick decisions, no feelings behind it. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to make a couple more. Tony Pollard probably doesn't need to be returning kicks anymore. No. But he should be on the offense. He should be seeing the field more on offense because you saw whenever he came out and for some plays against the Browns, he started making plays. That's the one way to offset some of Zeke's inefficiencies. So
you could argue that Pollard's 1-2 and Zeke's third down back.
Yeah, you could. I remember even whenever they signed him, I would say, well, his greatest ability is, one, he's always falling forward, and then you pay him whenever it's critical time. In a Jason Garrett offense, everyone knows what you're going to do, but you can depend on him to get that 3rd and 1, that 4th and 1. And, he has been pretty dependable in that, but is that what you're going to pay all that money for? No, you expect something else completely. So, look, like I said in the beginning, there's a lot more questions than answers. But they should win this game. Will they win the game? I don't know. I think they should easily. But then they got to go play the Cardinals, and that's going to be a tough game. So, simplifying the defense, yes, that's probably the first step they need to go down. Somehow, some way, take some responsibilities off the table for these players. And how you get them fired up to put more effort on the field, I don't really know. Is it going to take some surprise cuts or things in there? I don't know. I don't really know what motivates a player that's making millions. I don't know. But they need some more effort out there, and they just need subpar, at least subpar.
All we're asking you to be is just average. That's all we're asking you to be is just average. I'm not asking you to do anything over the top or anything, but the thing is that they can't even do that.
Yeah, it's bad out there right now. But the thing is, there are not reinforcements coming for the next few weeks, so they're gonna have to figure it out with what they got pretty quickly, and that's what it is. You got anything else? No,
like I said, this is the first time where I feel comfortable with the staff and what they're doing as far as, they're a pull player that you're not playing up so Steele and Darien Thompson came into this game with short leashes and they pulled them immediately. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I like to see, and ultimately these players just aren't performing.
One thing
to NFL standards.
I do want to address real quick on the defense is people saying fire Mike Nolan and bring in somebody like Wade Phillips. I've seen a couple tweets. One, I don't know if Mike McCarthy would fire a coordinator this quickly in the season. I mean, it is a very, very bad start. If they lose to the Giants and give up 35 points, 35 plus points, then yeah, probably it's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Some kind of shift.
Demotion or something.
Yeah. Bring in Wade Phillips, though. I don't know. He would probably want to switch to a 3-4. I know he did make it work with the Rams a little bit on a multiple front, but I don't know how much.
I don't know how much our personnel actually matches anything towards that.
Yeah. The more likely candidate would be to shift George Edwards into the defensive coordinator role because he served as that with the Vikings for a couple of years. And they were one of the better defenses in the NFL, but they also had some elite at that time personnel. Yeah. Everson Griffin when he was elite, Anthony Barr, Eric Kendricks.
And they asked their safety to do a lot.
I don't think they have You could maybe say D-Law could fill in one of those spots, but that's about it. That's the name that I would watch, George Edwards, if the defense continues on this trend. I don't think an outside force would be coming into play on this. But, all right, well, let's look forward to Week 5. Hope for a victory, see what happens. We appreciate you watching this video. If you like Dallas Cowboys and you like NFL content, stay tuned here. It is a low time for the Cowboys right now, but we're hoping for better times. So we'll bring more energy next time, a little more excitement. We appreciate you watching the video, and we will see you next time.
Yo, I ain't here for the money,